Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to hopefully the last fucking time I have to play this game. So, some new DLC dropped for Xbox Live Marketplace, and you're asking yourself, is it worth it? So, what I did, because I am a nice guy, is I forked over 800 Microsoft points to buy this piece of, this possibly okay DLC. I'm not gonna spoil what I think of it just yet. So, so everyone's clear, I'll go through this list fairly quickly. Here's a breakdown of cost. I don't know if you guys are going to have similar packs I am from Canada, but it should all kind of come out the same. You can either buy separate Trials packs at 160 each. So the Master Pack, the Mentor Pack, no need for a costume pack. Leader Packs at 160, 160, 320, 480. And I believe that's it for the Mentor, Master, Acolyte Pack. Oh, there's four. There's four of those, so 4 times 160, which is 540, around there. And then also the Metal Claws, which is 240, and then of course the Costume Pack. You can get a light version, which includes the ability to go further with the amount of levels you can go in clan battles, but you do need to download it anyways, so it's like a mandatory little DLC. And what they give you is only for single player use only. Only for single player use only are Metal Claws, actually. So, I've got a couple of saves here and there. So let's go with, I have one on hard, one on, what's this one? Day 0, cleared, hard. Weird. Okay. Let's do that. Kind of a weird opening segment. But anyways, so I'll show you guys a quick little feature of it in single player. Then I'll go off to Ninja Trials and Clan Battles, and hopefully I have enough time to do it all in one video. And I'll tell you guys about what I think, why the DLC came out so soon after the game, and hopefully you guys can see whether or not it's worth it for yourselves, more importantly, than just trusting what I have to say. So, yes, this was the place, this was, okay, return to game. I'd like to skip the movie now. It offered me the ability to skip the movie last time. Please tell me I can skip. There we go. Apparently, you can skip the movie only partway through a cutscene, which is very strange. One thing you'll notice straight off the bat, every single cinematic-esque sort of event is, you will not have the talons equipped. So, for instance, let's take the beginning here.
Be careful, Hayabusa.
Yeah, so I can't switch to my talents just yet. I have to do this mandatory fall down, bird scene, whatever. So this is something you're going to be able to do with just for free. So this is something you should just go ahead, download anyways. Press up, change your weapon. Takes a few seconds to load up. And then we get to see, this is the easiest way to say this is basically, I think like level 8 or 9 level talons, which may sound kind of weird that I'm giving it a level rating, considering the fact that this is single player, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. So right off the bat, I'm playing on hard, so I thought I'd try and see how this weapon stacks up against enemies. Right off, we see that the combat speed is really slow. And then one other thing you're going to find out is, even though I successfully did that there, I successfully grabbed a guy out of the air, there's this weird awkward jump, and if you mess up the jump, it kind of looks odd. So check this. Hopefully I can display it. And then it's like awkward, because if you miss it, you're just sort of like, oh, I'm supposed to press. You're just not used to that at all. So it's one of those, oh, hello, we're in the air in buoyancy for a few seconds, and you'll get this weird, like, awkward stare down between Ryu and his guy as he falls to the ground. He's dead. I haven't seen what this looks like with an infected arm, like an infected arm on. I'm going to also show something kind of weird that I noticed. So right off the bat, you guys can see the combat is a little slower pace. The flying swallow technique right there. You can just still do stuff like Inazuna's drop, nothing major as far as changes there. And you're still getting these like over-the-top final kills. I find that like it's really weird because there's a major slowdown in frame rate as you're playing through the game. But as hopefully I'll be able, and then this like awkward like up in the air thing. I don't understand why they chose that. That's for your Y button. If you use the Y button to finish a guy off and steal on bonus instead of an X button, you'll throw him up in the air. So as you kind of learn like to know what like the mashing. So take this. This is going to be really fast. And it looks awkward in the sense that I can't even keep track of what's going on because the talons slow down the gameplay so much that when it goes into that fast motion crap, I can't even follow. Some cool finishings, but of course, like with most of the game, you kind of get sick of it after a while. The talons don't seem particularly over, yeah, and again, the awkward sort of, oh right, I'm going up into the air. Yeah. It's like, okay, I get it, right. So I can imagine, I mean, this is going to add a lot to your playthrough. So those of you who are waiting to see if the DLC was totally worth it, especially with the free DLC, this is not a cincher. Just because you have 2 weapons instead of 1 and can play through the game with them doesn't really mean much. I can't, unfortunately, tell you guys what it's like on the much later in the game on the much harder difficulties. If this is like broken in some sense. I did find that in some ways it's broken. And then I'll show one last little segment before we exit out of single player. So this is, and the reason why I say this is probably level 8 is because in multiplayer there are weapon levels. I haven't really talked about this a lot, but we're going to get into that and we're just going to finish all these guys off pretty soon. As you can see, the amount of time this battle has taken me is increased significantly. The kind of damage that the talons do is really not a lot. It's not anywhere as near as powerful as the sword. And I guess they try and balance that out for the fact that they don't want to give you an overpowered DLC weapon, especially for free in the single player. And do some weird, cool, spinny dash down bottom thing. Do the weird flip and the getting annoyed by the beating of the hearts already. We just got one guy left, and then we're gonna get something that bothers the heck out of me. This right here.
Please, let me live.
So right away, I'm not even gonna bother sitting through this this first segment, but you see, we switch right to the sword, and you're forced to use the sword. So I'm not gonna, let you guys sit through that all again. Also, I did go a little further. As far as like the one-on-one fights, the talons seem to do pretty well. Nothing too crazy. But the main chunk of what you're paying for, and that's what people kind of came to see, was in Shadow of the World, because now I can use talons in Ninja Trials and Clan Battles. I haven't really touched on Ninja Trials, so I'm going to start there, and if we have time, I'll go to the multiplayer claws and how they affect gameplay. It's not a lot, so that's why I'm kind of putting it off to the side, and maybe we'll get to it. But with Challenge Trials, you get a number of Challenge Trials if you buy the full 800 pack. Now, right off the bat, you can see we have Acolyte unlocked. I also have Mentor, and I've got a little bit of Leader, and then Ultimate Ninja is only because of the DLC. Haven't unlocked any of the actual ones from that one. So Acolyte, I've finished a few of these. They're very simple. I need to spend more time into it. It's actually, Ninja Trials is probably the best homage to Ninja Gaiden, because you can see these are enemies from previous Ninja Gaiden games. And that does include, I mean, you're going to be seeing, like, enemies coming back from other Ninja Gaiden games in the Trials, which is really neat. A lot of locales come back, and here is the best example, actually. This looks kind of familiar, but I think I'm going to go with this display over here. What the hell? Alma. We've got a cool new boss here as well. We've got Doku as well, and then as you go further on, these are also ones I've bought. You've got some weird one, but then Alma with, and then we've got that guy again, and some, snowmobile part, and then Doku, and then again we have Doku, and then mech thing, and then we've got another boss, which is, I think, a little different than the other one, and then Alma again, and then 2 Dokus, finishing off with, this is obviously like 3 high-end Spider Clan Ninja, and then we've got 2 Region of the Mask, at the very least, and 3 Dark Ryus for the final Ultimate Ninja. I tried to do this one. You start off against 1 Ryu that I couldn't even beat. So I have been having a lot of issues. I will do my best to try and show off everything in terms of like the new mission modes. Maybe we'll try Acolyte. I've not yet gotten to Alma, which is really disappointing. But they did add a new map, the church scene from Ninja Gaiden 1. They've retooled that. So in your equipment, you're going to have some new options. There's also new customization. So like I unlock sand, colored, I think that was the color. And we've got, you know, cool dragon statue thing on my head, vermilion bird, white tiger. So just cool headpieces. You know, if you're really into the you're really into some of the customization, might be something to look at. Can change my armor, anything interesting there. Genbu. It's not really loading. Just do that and then some new kanji. And then we can switch between our sword and our claws. Now the thing that's strange, we can also go okay, and then we'll check out our weapon level. I have level 4 talons, which means I finally unlocked ultimate technique. You don't start off with a flying swallow technique, so you've really got to grind out getting these talons any whit worthwhile. They really suck. Like, they're really weak in comparison to like the beginning of the ninja sword, the dragon sword. I'm hoping that level 10 will be really worth the effort. So hopefully you guys can find that out on your own. But right now I'm sure the lower levels. And one thing to talk about Ninja Trials, it's a little different than regular Ninja Gaiden. And that's very simple in the sense that two things: can't jump and use my bow and arrow. I have to be always on the flat-footed on the ground. But I believe I also showed you guys that in the multiplayer portion. So it's all the rules that apply to like the clan battles, like the deathmatch stuff, also applies to this game. Now, one other thing that's kind of odd is how his hand is held. If you if you take the time to look at how any of the ninjas hold their hand while they have the claw on, it looks like it's like their wrist is broken. It's really weird that way. But anyways, it's pretty much the same thing, except I have less options available to me. So you gotta like level that up. I just got this, so you know, lucky me. Get to show you guys off at least that. It looks like a regular fight now. But yeah, for the most part, nothing too huge. I think one other thing I can show off might be this. If I can get it done. Okay, come on, come up with me. Let's go. Yeah, I'm trying to show you guys something, and it's not working. No. Okay, that's weird, isn't it? It's not. Oh boy. Whoa, jeez. Also, the finishing moves get more and more advanced in this game. It's weird because the finishing moves stayed really consistent for single player. In this, there's a lot more variation. I don't understand why they would spend time on the Ninja Trials and then just to, I would just use Nimpo again, just to add less variation like that. I thought that was so weird that like in single player it has like less to it than in Ninja Trials, which is weird because it really feels like Ninja Trials is made for like fans of the series, which is kind of weird that they would just put, like, it feels like some guy was sitting in the back of the corner while everyone was talking about how great Ninja Gaiden 3 is going to be. That's a glitch. That's a glitch right there. You guys saw that. And then he's just sitting there. He's like, man, I like Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2 though. I don't want it to change. And he spent his whole dev time working on this. And they're like, oh, this is pretty good. We'll just add it in and not even think anything. Because Ninja Gaiden 3 is like main campaign is so amazing, right? And it's just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's weird. Eventually, I'm going to be able to unlock more things to do cooler things with up in the air. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I should be able to like slash like crazy across. So, anywho, nothing too major. And then we're gonna go ahead and use our claws to finish off a few of these guys. And then kind of the general boss of the Acolyte area is this guy. And then we're gonna go ahead and use Nimpo to help with the fight a little. Where'd he go? Awkward timing. So the big thing is that people thought that there was going to be a scythe with this, and I did too, because the fact that when you fight Dark Ryu in the actual single-player campaign, he uses the talons, the scythe, and the sword, and it was reported we were supposed to get 2 pieces of DLC, which is really strange. So we only get the 1 weapon, all the trials, which, you know what, are worth it. The talons are not worth it for multiplayer. That's kind of what my feeling is. Like, they're cool and all, but like, if you're a huge fan of the actual game, I guess it's worth it. It's the cost point is too high. It's too expensive. They kind of, you know, like even though you get it for free in the single player, like it just doesn't make it's not worth 800 Microsoft points unless you're hugely into Ninja Trials and you're so good at it too. Is the other main key factor in that. If you're amazing at Ninja Trials and you really love the challenge or you really love the multiplayer, this DLC is for you. If you are just a single player person, you could care less, do not even bother downloading the pack. Because these weapons, a lot of people have some gripes with just how, like, it's kind of strange as far as the pacing is weird. Like with the talons, they don't seem to flow as well as the sword. They obviously spent less time. Now, one other thing I'd like to touch on before we go, because I don't think there's too much else you guys need to hear, is that the DLC came out fairly soon after the game came out. Now, the big thing is everyone's like, oh my god, you totally held out on us, Team Ninja, and you had all these Ninja Trials and weapons, and you're not giving it to us. Well, basically, this is an actual thing. So by the time the game finishes and the game actually comes out, like, cause it gets finished and then it goes to print, needs to be marketed, stuff like that. By the time between those two things, developers have a lot of time on their hands to make DLC. So that's sort of like their cop-out recently, as I've been hearing. You know, is like, well, we were just working on it while it was, you know, we were on off time, right? And it's like, okay, well, that didn't make sense, but Team Ninja, it's sort of strange because of the fact that you see the game mechanics in the actual main game. You know, it feels like what they did on the actual dev end in terms of, you know, what you can do, like the fact that Alma is completely redone and stuff, and there's so many levels and so many bosses. I don't think in the few months they could have done that. Now this is what I'm thinking. I think, and I'm not even joking, Team Ninja might have been aware of the fact that this game might bomb. I get this feeling like they knew. The fact of the matter is, there's no Twitter response, there's no like Team Ninja response to the criticism they've received. It's not circulating the internet from what I've seen. I haven't looked for it, but I would have seen it by now, I'm sure. Someone would have at least commented and thrown me a link or something. But like, as far as them responding, there hasn't been a lot or anything for that matter. And that is concerning because when your game bombs, you should be there. Defend the game. If you love this game and you didn't think it was gonna bomb and people are overreacting, then say it. Be mad. Get pissed. You fucking put time and effort into this, apparently. You know, I would. Okay, now I can do it. I just leveled up my weapon so I can do more things with it, which is great. So I can show that on camera, I'm sure. I'm trying to have it. There we go. So we'll see what we got soon. It's not going to be an ultimate technique up or anything like that. So, so yeah, what I think might have happened is that Team Ninja thought this might bomb, and so for the DLC, they're like, okay, we need to hold back on for a couple of reasons. One, if they included the Talons or the Scythe in the main game, they would have probably been expected to include it in most of the QuickTime events, or risk like losing even more points, right? So in their mind, they're like, oh shit, if we like include the Talon in the Scythe, and it's not like completely done well, it's going to like give something even, like make this game seem even worse, right? So they're like, okay, well, we can't do that. What we can do, though, is release it as DLC, so it's an excuse for us not to render out the actual, like, segments of Ryu interacting with the environments and stuff and doing all the things with his sword, right? And then so it's an easy sort of cop-out. So what did I actually get? I got a new Nimpo level and Inazuma drop. Okay, there's nothing crazy there. But yeah. And that's why I feel that it sort of feels like Team Ninja like knew it was going to bomb. And so what they thought to themselves is, okay, well, if it doesn't bomb, then we'll just release it as DLC and we'll make money off of it. And if it does bomb, well, we'll give fans like one free weapon for single player and then charge them for the rest, even though they really should have given this stuff out for free once they realized that they'd really let down a lot of people with their purchase. And I think that's like the worst part is like it'd be a value. This would be a valuable and of value DLC to download if the rest of the game was as good as like Ninja Trials, or the rest of the game was like well received. They know the game wasn't well received. They can see that. It's apparent that like you want to believe that they listen to fans and they'll respond to it, but when you see this, you know, like it's sort of makes you wonder, like at what point, you know, does Team Ninja, like, I know it's all marketing and there's a lot more than, like, Team Ninja doesn't have a say some of the time, but I'm sure they could have voiced concerns or something could have been done, you know. It's a little disappointing. So my actual conclusion, if you're huge fans of Ninja Gaiden and you love the multiplayer and you love the clan trials, or the Ninja Trials, sorry, download the packs. They're really cool. They have some cool new enemies and cool new boss setups and new levels and stuff, new environments, so it's definitely worth it. Don't get these. Just buy the Master, the Mentor, and the Acolyte and the Leader pack. You'll save yourself some money. You don't need the Metal Claws or the Costume pack. If you're and that's if you're really into the game. If you just kind of think this game is crap, I just turn it off. Don't play it again. Like I wanted to. If you want to try out the claws, I mean the pack's free. The Ninja Light pack is free, so something to try out, I guess. Nothing too crazy to write home about. So hopefully I gave you guys an idea of sort of what you're looking at. Highly disappointing that there isn't a second weapon and that most of this isn't for free, or most of the like, come on, Team Ninja, like you gave us a second. You know what? And I'm sure they wouldn't even, if this game hadn't bombed, they wouldn't have even given us the free Ninja Pack Lite. You know, just to like, feels like more of a marketing ploy than actually like rewarding fans. You know, Team Ninja, they kind of went downhill. So yeah, so that's been my brief, my drawn out, over the top analysis of the DLC in Ninja Gaiden 3. For those of you who are wondering whether or not you should purchase it, I'm gonna go with kind of a pass on this one. Don't bother. It's not. It's like it really is for the hardcore fan only. Because honestly, I can't beat most Acolyte challenges, and I've been playing this game for a long time. And for you to like need the Ultimate Pack or the Master Ninja Pack, like buy them as you beat them, kind of thing, you know. Like basically, here's the best way to do it. I'm spending too much time on this because I feel like I should just break it down. Buy this. If you like it and beat it, then buy this. If you like that and beat it, then buy this. If you really like that and beat it, or sorry, it's that one, it's Leader Pack, buy that one. And then buy your your Master Pack. And then if you're like, I need more, there's those two always available for the same cost as pretty much buying the, well, you could buy this one at the same cost of 800. I know in a lot of things where if you buy everything, they eventually give you a discount and like a redemption on the amount, but don't do it. Don't do it. I warned you. Don't do it. Where do I rank? What do I rank? I'm so good. So I'm like, clan battles. Where am I? Battle score. That's cool. I'm like 1-1. So good. And then nothing. There's no actual leaderboards. Why do I not see leaderboards? I don't understand. Cool. I can see how many sword kills, max claw kills. I got 212, 2,300 sword kills, and that's probably the last time I'm pretty much gonna touch this game. Cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in that next part. And sorry it went long, but you know me. I'm never brief. Okay. Have a great day.